How about at 7 o'clock on Saturday night? This is also a game that's going to be on Fox. Two undefeated teams. One team that's been ranked the entire time. One kind of had to earn it a little bit more. Oregon State, number 14 in the entire country, taking on a Washington State squad that's going to be ranked, that is ranked number 21 as of right now. They were not ranked in the top 25, but I will say this: they didn't struggle against Colorado State. They won by 26 in regulation. They pulled the upset against Wisconsin too, and they handled their business against Northern Colorado. So Washington State finally getting the flowers that they deserve. And unlike what we saw in the those Mike Leach days, where the offense was the explosive team and defense had question marks. And of course, I have to say, rest in peace to Mike Leach, one of the greatest college football figures ever. But going into the season, there was questions about Washington State's offense. The defense should have been good. And not only has Washington's defense lived up to the hype, they're allowing less than 400 yards a game so far. We're seeing the same old Washington State offense that we've seen from years past, averaging 400 passing yards a game. Cam Ward, the quarterback of this Washington State football team, transferring in from Incarnate Wood a couple of years ago, took him a little bit to, find his rhythm. It was a solid season. 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But it wasn't maybe what Washington State fans expected. He certainly found that rhythm now. Almost 1,000 yards, hasn't thrown a single interception yet. Taking real good care of the football. Extremely good care of the football. That's for sure. And this matchup also has a greater meaning, as this could be the two remaining teams of the Pac-12. Now, they haven't mentioned going into a different conference yet or deciding that they're going independent. So these two teams, they might be sticking around in the Pac-12 and trying to rebuild this conference from the ground up. And so far, what we've seen for this first quarter of the season, these two teams are Power 5 teams. There's no question about that. They shouldn't have been left behind. The rest of the conference is doing them absolutely dirty. But let's go into the game. DJU, quarterback of Oregon State, not too bad in his own right. 630 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think that it's clear that DJU was not the problem at Clemson. I think it's more of a coaching staff issue. And we've seen, of course, what has happened to Clemson. So that's what we know as of right now. I think DJU was not the problem at Clemson. He was not, he's not the biggest reason why DJU could not live up to expectations at Clemson. Now, that being said, DJU did struggle against San Diego State. And San Diego State, certainly a defensive school, coached by Brady Hoke, I believe. He went just 40 for 30 and was intercepted twice last week against San Diego State. But even though it was not what you would look for in terms of an offensive performance from this Oregon State squad, they still found a way to win. They still found a way to win by double digits. So what that shows is that even if DJU struggles, Oregon State is still going to at least be in this game, I think. I think this is a very good football team that even ranked at number 14 in the entire country. I do think that this Oregon State squad will remain competitive. And I expect this to be a very competitive game moving forward. The model has it at -1.5. As of right now on FanDuel, it's showing as -2.5 in terms of the Vegas line. I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. One that might be falling in between the cracks a little bit because of Notre Dame and Ohio State happening shortly after that. I don't know who's going to win this game, guys. I just don't have a good feel on who I think is going to win this game. But man, this is a tough one. I really like both teams. because they do it in different ways too. I'm gonna side with Oregon State. I don't feel very confident about that pick necessarily, though, because it really could go either way. Should be an exciting game. Could be a nice little appetizer while you're waiting for the Ohio State Notre Dame game, or it could be a game that captures your attention completely. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if it makes some waves around college football, which it definitely will. It definitely will for sure.